final race of an epic day here at the British GP at Silverstone is reserved for the FIM Harley-Davidson Bagger World Cup. And after Bradley Smith became the 5th different winner yesterday in race 1, who knows what is on the horizon this afternoon as a sun-soaked British crowd get geared up to close off another memorable weekend here at the British GP. You're in the company of myself, Kiko Giles, and Neil Morrison, as well as our experts wildcard guest up here in commentary, Kyle Wyman, who's back with us once again. Neil, I'll come to you first if I can. What a race yesterday with Bradley Smith on top for Great Britain at home, but are we expecting the same again today? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to yourself, Kiko. Yeah, I hope everyone has enjoyed the racing so far, and I hope you're sticking around because we've got another really exciting encounter coming up for you. If you caught race 1 yesterday, you'll know why we're excited about this one. We had a 5-way fight at the front of yesterday's race. We had a home winner in the form of Bradley Smith, who's wildcarding here this weekend for the Harley-Davidson factory team. And I see no reason why we shouldn't see a repeat of yesterday's action, Kiko, and right the way down to the final corner of the race.
We've got a slightly different time for kicking off here. We are getting underway in about 10 minutes. That's 4 o'clock, so a little bit earlier than yesterday. Kyle, is that going to make a big difference in terms of tyre selection, in terms of race management?
It is a bit earlier today. It is a bit hotter today as well, so I think that you're going to see everybody on the softer option compound. We saw a couple people put in the harder rear tire yesterday. Inone was one of them. I talked to him early today. He said it wasn't the best choice, so everybody's on the soft MS1 today.
The soft tyre is the tyre here in the Harley-Davidson Bagger World Cup. We run Dunlops. The Dunlops, the softer that you can go is in the hotter conditions, am I right?
Correct.
Okay, so that's just worth noting then. A couple of changes there on the grid for this one in terms of tyre selection. You'll be able to see by the banding on the rear tyre exactly that soft compound. So we're coming down, completing the sighting lap, and we're going to be taking you through the grid very, very soon. But Bradley Smith goes into this one, Neil, as the rider to beat from yesterday, really, because even though he won on his debut, there's now a target and an expectation that he's going to double up.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how Bradley deals with this one. He was pretty keen to get to the front at the start of yesterday's race and set his own rhythm, and he felt pretty confident that he could not shake off the riders behind him, but build up enough of a gap going into the final lap that he was able to comfortably defend in the final couple of corners. I mean, I think if he chose not to defend, he might have actually had a little bit of a more comfortable time coming out of the final turn, because this man here, Archie MacDonald, pushed him right the way to the finish line and the checkered flag, and I think he posted his personal best lap on the final lap of the race. It was a really brilliant performance from Archie, from Mad Dog, and he is right back in the thick of this championship fight.
He really did. A 2:09.0 right at the end of the race. Bradley Smith likewise doing his fastest lap time at the end of the race, but it was some 3.5 tenths slower compared to Archie MacDonald. So keep an eye on MacDonald if we have a last lap shootout today. MacDonald, a first-time pole sitter this weekend, breaking the streak of Eric Granado because the 51 crashed. Talking of crashers, Oscar Gutierrez was one of them yesterday. Did come away with 10th at the checkered flag, so it was 6 points for his championship, but it's a 12-point deficit now, back up to Eric Granado, who is your championship leader. Gutierrez needs a result today, doesn't he?
Yeah, most certainly does. That was a really disappointing incident for Oscar, coming here on the back of a second and a first place at Assen. He was the king of Assen in this class, but yeah, he's going to have to try and recoup something in this one. He was 2 points off Eric Granado in the championship fight yesterday. He's now slipped to 12 points in arrears. Not a total disaster for Oscar, but yeah, he'll be looking to make amends in this one.
Bradley Smith completing that front row, your winner from yesterday. We saw great scenes of James Rispoli giving it proper full factory gangbuster celebrations down there in pit lane. Carl, what was the atmosphere like back across at the Harley-Davidson Bagger paddock yesterday and also this morning, because I'm sure everyone was still on a high?
Yeah, it was pretty electric, as you saw on screen yesterday, and yeah, Rispoli always bringing the energy and the vibes for sure, but hey, now you got to do it again, so a little bit of pressure in that camp today, and you know, you've got a lot of storylines with Oscar trying to come back and make a good result, and And this man, he could be our 6th winner of the year.
He really could. Jordi Torres was very, very fast yesterday. 2:09.5. It was only half a second slower than what Archie McDonald was able to right at the end of the race. But really, more or less there, Neil, lapping 1 or 2 tenths, maybe 3 tenths within the group that he was trying to hang on to. So Jordi Torres has got a bit of something today, hasn't he?
Yep, you would imagine so. He just met the immovable force, which was Andrea Iannone in that fight for 4th up until the final lap. You felt if he had got past the Italian with maybe 2 to go, he could have latched onto the back of the podium fighting, maybe even got amongst it. Torres maybe lacking a little bit of experience compared to some of his other rivals in this category. But yeah, it still was a fine ride to 5th position. Never finished outside the top 5 in his 3 races so far.
Very consistent stuff, and consistency is key. Jordi Torres, of course, though, has only done 5 races and does find himself 10th in the championship. We're looking at Eric Granado as he gets himself in the zone. He was a crasher yesterday in qualifying, but that didn't stop him coming through and fighting for victory. It wasn't something he was able to do in the end, but still on the podium there in 3rd place. Completing that 2nd row of the grid, we're going to see Maxwell Toth, a very, very smart, sensible ride from him yesterday, getting points on the board in 6th place.
Yeah, good performance from Max Toth here, deputising for the injured Corey Rest this weekend. Give a really good account of himself, and just going back to Eric Granado, he's now had 6 podiums on the points. I don't think we ever saw that kind of consistency from the Brazilian in his 6 years racing in Moto E.
And it was that inconsistency that cost him that elusive first Moto E title, but at the moment he is in command by 10 points over Archie McDonald. Let's give you just a quick overview, if we can, of the top 4 in the championship standings. They're covered by 40 points. Eric Granado has 10 over Archie McDonald. Oscar Gutierrez is 2 points further back, and then there's a decent chunk of points, 28 to be exact, back to Andrea Iannone, who's got 7 over Jake Lewis. But they all chase Archie McDonald from pole here in the Bagger World Cup Race 2 at Silverstone. Just moving back through, you mentioned Jake Lewis is 5th in the championship standings. He is 7th on the grid at the head of that 3rd row. Jake Lewis aiming to maybe improve a little bit from where we saw him yesterday in the race results. He did come through for 7th, but he'll be eager to get one over his Saddleman Racing teammate Max Toth, who's obviously just a deputy this weekend.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Kyle, what you think Jake Lewis can do. He's had some good performances so far this year, obviously on the podium, but yeah, maybe not quite on the kind of the podium level here.
Yeah, I know they're working on trying to find a better setting in the rear end of the bike for him, and hopefully he can get more comfortable today, but also just a second night of sleep after trying to learn this long racetrack is going to help all of these guys who have never seen it coming into the weekend.
Keep an eye on Jake Lewis as well, because of course it is his first time here, so likewise for many of these, but normally he is right there at the start of the 2nd race, so I think Jake Lewis might well have something. The number 85 going off the 3rd row. Happy birthday, Andrea Iannone, 37 years young today. Not that you'd be able to tell, of course. In the middle of that 3rd row on the grid, he'll be looking to try and move through if he can, because yesterday was, I think, probably the most downbeat we've seen Andrea Iannone. Dimas Ekipasama, good to see him on the grid. The Indonesian for the Indonesian team, Niti Racing, didn't take part yesterday, but he is there completing the 3rd row. On the final row of the grid, 10th and 11th, Filippo Rivelli will be looking to see if he can have a bit of an improvement, as well as Travis Wyman, who is 11th. But it is Archie McDonald in pole. Will he convert it today? Race 2 coming up next. The second half of the inaugural FIM Harley-Davidson Bagger World Cup season is well underway, and just 12 points cover your top 3. Archie McDonald will lead the grid here today, out from the Silverstone wing down towards Abbey for the first time of asking. Let's see if he gets a perfect start, just like yesterday. Yesterday's winner was Bradley Smith, 25 points and a win on debut. Will he double up in his wildcard weekend? For the final race on Grand Prix Sunday here at Silverstone, you're in the company of myself, Kiko Giles, Neil Morrison and Kyle Wyman up here in commentary as we look to bring a fantastic Qatar Airways Grand Prix of Great Britain to an end. And let's see what the next 2 rounds, the final 2 rounds of the FIM Harley-Davidson Bagger World Cup's inaugural season have left in the locker. Aragon at the end of this month, and then we have to wait a couple of weeks longer until we're back in action for the grand finale in Austria, the Red Bull Ring, towards the end of September. The warm-up lap underway here at Silverstone. Neil, I'll come to you first. Bradley Smith, there is an expectation now that, having won yesterday, he's going to be in that fight again today, but conditions a little bit warmer. It's a little bit of a different time in day. Are we going to see Bradders do it again, or is someone going to ruffle his feathers?
You've got to consider him as one of the favourites for sure. After his performance yesterday, he looked so assured. I think, as I mentioned on commentary yesterday, he won his first race at World Championship level since Valencia 2010, his final ever race in the 125cc category, so a bit of a milestone. He has been victorious in the King of the Baggers series so far this year. I think at Laguna Seca, you were saying, Carl, earlier this season.
Yes.
And yeah, so he's clearly got that winning feeling back, so yeah, why not?
Kyle, what we saw yesterday was a big battle at the front five guys really close together. Looking at yesterday's race, did we pick out any hot spots, any action hot spots out there on the track to keep an eye on for race 2?
Well, we saw that place on the track where Bradley was really strong, and he was able to stretch it out on the guys each lap and make passes in there. Prediction-wise,
go on.
Well, yesterday I threw a little commentator's curse out on Oscar Gutierrez, so I might have to refrain today, but I'm looking forward to seeing maybe some redemption out of him, and also, you know, how can Bradley Smith answer the bell again at his home GP?
If you've got a commentator's curse, Carl, you're one of us. You're a professional. You're a professional broadcaster, so welcome to the club.
I'm officially in.
You're officially in the club. Talking of club, that's the final corner. Who's going to lead out of it on the final lap, Neil?
Well, I did just talk up Bradley Smith, so why not? Yeah, the number 38 on his resplendent Union Jack colour scheme, leading the riders around. Yeah, why not Bradley to seal a heroic home double here?
I think Archie McDonald may well just have something a bit special left in the locker, so I'm going to go for Mad Dog 69 to try and convert that pole position. It has been a memorable British GP weekend. Over 100,000 fans packed in across the 3 days here at Silverstone. Just over 43,000 of them turning up today alone. It's been a brilliant turnout in the middle of what has been a brilliant English summer. Championship leader Eric Granado pulls up then in the middle of that second row of the grid. The number 51 is P1 in the championship standings, but will he be P1 at the end of these 7 laps? Just a little under 42 kilometres in distance. Red lights will come on, and when they go out, the final race of the day is go, and it is another decent start from that front row from Archie McDonald, but not as good as Oscar Gutierrez, who leads down towards Abbey. So whole shot for the number 99, who's looking to make amends from yesterday's blunder. Coming through Farm Curve and down into Village, Archie McDonald straight back and backing it in right to the apex. McDonald has the advantage. Bradley Smith trying to come back through as well into second, but he can't, and that's to stand it up. Granado has come through already, I think, up into 4th place. It's Granado who's got a brilliant start from 5th up to 4th, and going back a place is Geordie Torres. Down the National straight towards Brooklands, McDonald has the advantage.
Yeah, Andrea Iannone up 2 places into 6th position, so we've got well, the 6 big names up at the front of this class. Great stuff for McDonald to recover from a dodgy-ish start where the front wheel came up into the air, and he was nice and aggressive early into this race. He doesn't want to let anyone get up ahead of him. He wants to set the pace from the off.
Geordie Torres is in 5th place, as I said, and Jay Ionone's jumped a couple of positions as we ride on board through Woodcote. Wow, we're going sideways. We are sliding sideways, going down the old pit straight. This is where the Bagger World Cup paddock is situated. Coming out of Copse, climbing a small hill, and at the moment it's all line astern. Oscar Gutierrez having to think about launching an attack up the inside of the 99 through this spa stuff, but not able to do so this time. Carl, yesterday, this is where Bradley Smith was so strong, and he's looking like he's sizing something up coming through here. This is the left kink of Chapel and then the hanger straight. Yeah,
it looks like everybody's starting to close up back to each other a little bit. Archie has definitely improved in that section over yesterday, where it felt like he was just braking a little bit too early, so he's closing a few of those holes up that he had, and now we've got Granado going up the inside of Bradley Smith up to 3rd place.
Smith back to fourth. Oh, Dimasaki Pratama. Well, he didn't even take the start yesterday, and he hasn't even got to the end of lap 1, so the Indonesian out already. Yellow flags. Now that looks like it's around turns 12 or 13, so a good amount of time to get that cleared up until these guys come flying back past. But it is Archie McDonald who leads at the end of lap 1. Oscar Gutierrez there in second, but look at Eric Granado and look at Jordi Torres. Now Jordi Torres has got ahead of Bradley Smith. Bradley Smith fifth. I don't think yesterday we saw him quite that low, Neil.
No, he was only going forward yesterday, although he does respond down into turn number 3, although Jordi Torres just drops it across his nose, and that will block him, making a nice block pass into turn number 4. So Bradley Smith back in 5th. He has a lot of work to do, especially as Archie McDonald seems pretty intent on eking out a bit of a gap at the front. He's now got nearly half a second in hand over Granado. Yeah,
Granado just got ahead of Gutierrez as well. That was down in towards turn 3. That's really, really tight behind. Oh, Bradley Smith having a look up the inside of Jordi Torres at Brooklands. Can't get it done. And look who's behind Bradley Smith. Once upon a time, these two were doing battle in MotoGP's Premier class around Silverstone. And now they're duking it out in the baggers. Andrea, the Maniac Iannone, birthday boy, looking to see if he can come through up into a podium on what is his 37th birthday. Down the old front straight into Copse Corner again. Look how close Eric Granado is here too. Archie McDonald, these are your top 2 in the championship standings, and they are your top 2 on track, even though the positions are reversed. Granado strong through here, but he's just sizing up Archie McDonald at the moment. McDonald on Saturday in qualifying had great rhythm, had great pace, and towards the end of yesterday had great pace. Is he controlling the pace at the moment, Sir Kyle?
He looks as if, it does look like Granado's trying to ramp up for a move. Maybe he feels like he has a little bit of pace on Archie in a couple areas, but Archie's just standing tall, elbows wide. There goes Iannone up the inside of Bradley Smith now, so Bradley's going to have to stop the bleeding here. I know he'll be able to gather it up if we're going to have 5 laps to go when we come out of this right-hander. It's quite a bit of time around this track because it's so long, so there is some time, but it's going to be counting down. And
big moment for Oscar Gutierrez there. That is really going to not just balk him, but that's really going to stop Jordi Torres' run. And I think even Andrea Iannone had to roll out of it then. And now has really fragmented that group right up. Eric Granado, fastest lap of the race, and wide, trying to overcorrect perhaps is Gutierrez. That was at turn 1, Abbey, and that's going to allow Jordi Torres, his fellow countryman, at least an opportunity to get through. And wide everywhere at the moment. Oscar Gutierrez is not having a fun time of things at the end of lap 2 and the start of lap 3, but he's just able to resist Andrea Iannone. But that is a second now between Granado and in 3rd place Jordi Torres. This is that moment coming out of 17.
Yeah, the bike in 3rd position has a big old rear end slide. You can see Jordi Torres has to lift as well because he was right behind on the wrong side of Gutierrez. A really messy first half of the lap there for the number 99, which sees him slip back into 4th position. And as you can see, and Granado has a similar rear end moment coming out of Luffield, so that will give Archie McDonald a decent advantage up at the front of this field. Does show that grip is something of a premium out there.
Grip is definitely an issue today. Perhaps all the rubber laid down throughout the day on different rubber from the other classes. Perhaps temperatures are up quite a bit, but we're seeing quite a few mistakes. Gutierrez had that mistake. It looked like a kind of a bad upshift between 2nd and 3rd gear there. And these guys are starting to get some warnings, so you're starting to see it split out. Whoever can keep it clean, which so far McDonald's the man to keep it clean, is going to be able to get away in this one.
Not necessarily who's the fastest, it's who's being the smartest out there. Here's another look at this. Talk us through it, Kyle. Asking for the power on the exit of Luffield.
Yeah, just trying to ramp up a drive out of here, and luckily not a huge moment compared to what we've seen and what I've maybe experienced at times on these motorcycles, but he definitely lost a good few 3-4 tenths there, and he's going to have to work pretty hard to get back to the back of Archie.
Let's see what they've got. The gap is now 0.6 of a second between your lead two. Then it's another second back to Jordi Torres. So at the moment he's looking at take first podium in the Bagger World Cup class. Andrea Iannone's up to 4th, Gutierrez there in 5th. And then it is 6th place for Bradley Smith. The 2:10.2 for Archie McDonald. That's a little bit away from what we saw him doing yesterday.
Yeah, we're still over a second off of yesterday's lap time. So it's definitely grip is down from yesterday, and these guys are kind of skating around on ice.
Oh, as Brad Smith launches an overtake, an attempt on it, Oscar Gutierrez. Sorry, down at turn 3 on Oscar Gutierrez, and Gutierrez has had a real nightmare a couple of laps where he's just plummeted down through the order. Was sitting in 3rd position not so long ago, but Smith knows that he needs to attack if he wants to be back on the podium. I think at this point here, you would say 3rd position is probably the best he can hope for.
Unless Archie McDonald and Eric Granado do start squabbling, which we have seen plenty of times in 2026 thus far. We're having a look at Andrea Iannone in 4th place. He would so dearly love a podium here at Silverstone. But it is almost, it's 3 groups of 2 at the moment, isn't it? Well, if you can call Archie McDonald and Eric Granado a group, 8 tenths between them now, but it's those 2. Then it's Torres and Iannone, and then it's Smith and Gutierrez, and then we've got to go all the way back to Max Toth, Travis Wyman, Jake Lewis, Filippo Ravelli, your top 10, and of course Dimas Ekipatama. We saw him already crashing out on lap 1, so he's already back in the paddock as they climb the hill out of Copse. No such dramas this time around for either Bradley Smith or Oscar Gutierrez. Pushing hard, Andrea Iannone. He's definitely got a whiff of a podium, hasn't he?
Yeah, most certainly does. Just to go back to Archie McDonald, he was over half a second faster than anyone else on track last time around, and we know that Eric Granado had a mistake on that particular lap, but still McDonald trying to stretch this lead group apart, and he is succeeding. It looks as though Granado is the only other rider that is capable of potentially depriving him of a first victory since Coda.
It's going to be very interesting to see the gap when they come across the line, because it's stabilised throughout the sector times here. It's hovering around 3/4 of a second between McDonald and Eric Granado. So let's see exactly what it is when they come across the line. It definitely looks a little bit closer. We'll take them through. They're coming through the final corner now, and across the line, oh, it's a personal best lap of the race from the Brazilian Eric Granado, a 2:10.2. So Granado has got the hammer down. He's got the bit between his teeth. We are 3 laps to go until a resolution on this one, and it's going to be very interesting to see whether it's McDonald or it's Granado, of course, both in big battles for the title with each other.
Yeah, they really are. If McDonald manages to win this, he will be right back in the thick of the championship hunt. He's just 10 points in the rears of Granado as it stands. He would have that deficit with a win just here. At this point, are you still looking after your tyre, or are you just trying to control whatever you can, Kyle?
I mean, seeing as few moments out of the 69 that we have, he's doing a great job of looking after that rear tire. These right-handers, this particular spot right here is where Granado had that moment a couple laps ago. You just have to be a little bit more patient on the throttle, and I'm seeing that out of Archie at the moment.
Oh, through Woodcut, they're still sliding sideways. They're not leaving anything out there besides the rubber that's falling off the tyres as we get longer into the sun here in Silverstone. 2.5 laps to go. I tell you what, I reckon Jordi Torres has got his podium pretty much sorted as well, unless he has a misdemeanor or a moment out there on track. Archie McDonald sliding into Maggots Beckett, and we're going to come to Chapel very soon. Eric Granado's very good through this stuff, isn't he? He's closing down Archie McDonald. He's right in slipstream contention here, so it is going to be a head-to-head for victory between these two as we ride with Eric Granado getting closer and closer all the time in the braking area up towards Stowe. And Archie McDonald is starting to come under some pressure now from Granado.
Yeah, this lead of Archie McDonald was up to around 7/10 of a second about 2 laps ago, and as you can see, Eric Granado has basically got that down to almost nothing as they come around the penultimate turn into Club and across the line to start the penultimate lap, and he is right there. It's the fastest lap from Archie McDonald, but that is immediately bettered by Eric Granado, who was 3/10 faster that last time around. Less than 2/10 is in it.
And in the 209s for the first time in this race, so the wily old Fox Granado has obviously got a little bit left in the locker here. He's got a little bit of tyre perhaps underneath him. Has he been biding his time? Has he been keeping something in hand over Archie McDonald, who's done all the donkey work so far? And of course, Kyle, when you're behind a rider, you're able to see where they're strong, where they're weak. If Granado does leave it to the last lap, Archie McDonald won't know where Granado's strengths are.
No, he's been leading that whole way, and this is such a great shot out the front of his bike to get an idea of where he might be gaining, but they seem so evenly matched. He's pulling a little bit of slipstream, he's pulling a little bit in on the exits of the corners, but they're so close. I think it's going to take quite a lunge. Catching him is one thing, passing him is another, and there's not a whole lot of racetrack left when you got bags hanging off the side of the bike.
That's a great point. If Mr. TV Director's listening, can we jump on board coming through Maggots and Beckett's? Because that, to me, is where Eric Granado just seems to have a little bit more roll speed coming into the S's. That's where he looks strong as they come through now. This is where we really need to see what Eric Granado's got. But he's a bit too close, really, to really make any difference. And because of that, it looks a bit more equal this time around. Archie McDonald doing a great job.
Well, he listened to me yesterday saying that he was giving up a little bit of time there, and he's tidied up that section and actually pulled a little bit of gap on Granado on this lap.
In the slipstream under the bridge and up towards Stowe. Again, we were about the same distance back as we were a lap ago. In fact, I reckon we're a bit further back. Archie McDonald got a great run there down the Hanger Straight. Eric Granado is going to have to put in a Super Pole style lap, I think, to get on terms with Archie McDonald. It's all building, Neil, into Vale for the penultimate time.
Nice and clean braking from Eric Granado down into Vale.
Bit wide.
A little bit wide there, and McDonald's just able to eke out maybe another bike length or two, just a bit further back in the order. Andre Iannone has dropped down to 6th. Bradley Smith gone up to 4th. Oscar Gutierrez 5th. So Jordi Torres looking very comfortable in 3rd.
Last lap time, and the penultimate lap was a personal best, and into the 209s from Archie McDonald, a 209.8. The top two are trading lap times, they're trading personal bests. Let's see if there's one surprise left here on the final lap. 5.6 or so kilometres around this Silverstone circuit for Eric Granado to try and launch an attack on Archie McDonald. He's fast running out of places. We're going down the National Straight, and he's nowhere near close enough, Kyle, to get ahead down into Brooklands or Luffield.
Not yet. Archie's keeping it super clean. Doesn't seem like he's pushing too hard, just trying to put his bike exactly where it wants to, and he's starting to stretch it out again.
I think Granado was into Brooklands a little bit deep there. It looked like he was just a little bit offline. He's pushing hard. That may have been the moment. That may have just set Archie McDonald free as he comes through Woodcote. McDonald, that looks like a race-winning margin to me. Surely Eric Granado cannot do anything from there. It's nearly 7/10 of a second between the two of them.
Yeah, McDonald's managed to put a 1/4 of a second into the Brazilian on this final lap. He is managing this to absolute perfection. Unless Granado is able to do something miraculous through Maggots Beckett's on the final lap, you have to say McDonald is going to have enough of an advantage going down into Stowe to keep this comfortable.
It's worth noting, because they haven't traded places in this race, McDonald won't know exactly how close Eric Granado is. He'll know he's behind him, but not by how much. Down the Hanger Straight then it is. For the final time, surely Archie McDonald is going to get his first win since the opening race of this inaugural season back at Cota. 2nd place, looking like it's going to be Granado. 3rd for Torres, but what's going to happen in the battle for 4th? Because through has come Gutierrez on Bradley Smith, yesterday's winner. Smith's trying to hang it out around the outside, but he can't do it. It's going to have to be a pass into Vale. We're picking up the race leaders. It is going to be a 2nd victory of the season for Archie McDonald if he keeps it all neat and tidy through Club, which he does. Archie McDonald on the back wheel takes victory at Silverstone ahead of Eric Granado. Jordi Torres with a first podium of the season. Oscar Gutierrez's late attack on Bradley Smith giving the 99 P4. Yesterday's winner Smith settling for 5th. Andre Iannone, happy birthday to the Italian. The number 29 comes home in 6th. Max Toth is going to be 7th ahead of Jake Lewis. Travis Wyman 9th, and Filippo Ravelli takes the checkered flag in 10th place. But it is another victory for Archie Mad Dog McDonald and Joe Rascal Racing. They are going to be ecstatic about that. And 5 points just the difference with 4 races remaining, Neil. A mouth-watering prospect incoming in the second half of the year.
Yeah, the championship is beautifully poised as we go to Aragon. What a performance that was from Mad Dog McDonald. He was just textbook out front. You would not know that he is a rider coming to Silverstone for the very first time this weekend, riding one of the more complex tracks and layouts on the entire calendar. And yeah, he managed that. Didn't put a foot wrong pretty much throughout the entirety of that race. And yeah, you have to say, with 4 races to go, he is right in the thick of it. Maybe he's even the favourite coming into the final part of the year.
And it is a very emotional victory for Archie McDonald as well. It is the first win for him since the passing of his brother. So Archie McDonald does it for his bro here at Silverstone. Eric Granado will leave here as championship leader, but has it slashed in half. 5 points now, his advantage over the Australian. He'll be happy with second. And Jordi Torres on the podium there in third. But it is looking like a three-way fight for this title now, Kyle, because Andrea Ione's 50 points back. It's not insurmountable, but with only 100 left on the scoreboard in 2026, it is a tough hill to climb.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, coming in for to the second round, you know, to start his championship run was always going to be a tall order, but now it's definitely a little bit out of reach. We've really got a tight championship battle at the front. It's good to see. Good to see Oscar get a decent result today. So happy for Archie, you know, coming back from everything he's gone through. Even at Assen, that huge crash he had and riding injured the whole weekend, to see him get a result is really cool. Great to see
Jordi Torres effervescent as well, celebrating with Archie McDonald. A Joe Rascal Racing 1-2-3, Neil. That is an absolutely outstanding achievement. I think that's the first time all year that we've seen anything like that. So domination from the Joe Rascal Racing clan.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. And Jordi Torres, he was originally penned in to join this championship from the start of the season, but his team, proposed team at that stage, fell through at the last minute, and thankfully Joe Rascal Racing could step in at one point to offer him the third seat. And this was down on the final lap. Archie McDonald holding that victory into Vale at this point. Granado was just not close at any point to make a lunge or an attack, and yeah, every passing race that we have, McDonald does something to impress you even more.
And kudos to Granado for, you know, taking what he was given today, right? He didn't quite have the pace that Archie did, and, you know, didn't make a silly mistake trying to get on terms with him. Just took that second place. We'll live to fight another day and work this championship out at Spain and Austria.
It's going to be tight, I've got to say, because Eric Granado knows the next two tracks coming up. Archie McDonald less so. He does know Aragon from his time in the stock class of Moto Junior, but of course everything's quite different on these baggers, so whether experience is actually a hindrance will come into it, because if you have experience that's not really relevant, then it's almost better to start afresh, I suppose.
Yeah, at least he'll know which way the track goes, which he wasn't able to say.
Turn one's left.
Yeah, exactly. The last 3 occasions that he showed up to a venue.
I think that's the second time I've seen McDonald's airbag go off celebrating. He did it in qualifying. He was waving his arms so hard, and I see his airbags deployed again. So yeah, good thing he's got good support on the leather side to get him a new airbag.
Yeah, it's better than them going off in the gravel at Assen as well, because it was a pretty big prang back in the Netherlands a few weeks ago. This will be an emotional one, a big celebration down there for the number 69. Oh, don't stack it now, Archie. You've parked it up in Park Ferme. The number 69 is P1 here. It's P2 in the championship. 5-point split, him and Eric Granado. Let's soak up a bit of atmosphere if we can.
It's Moto2 rider Colin Veyer down there celebrating with Archie McDonald. Those two are good pals, and you said to me off air yesterday, Kyle, that he wants it so much. It's so clear when you listen to his Park Ferme interviews, when you see him celebrating results like this, and yeah, it's that kind of ruthless determination which has taken him to the cusp of the championship lead.
He's earned that one, and yeah, he's within striking distance now, and you know, he's got some work ahead to learn these racetracks and figure out how this bagger is going to make it around these couple more. But you know, he looked great today. I mean, maybe one look over his shoulder early in the race just to see, hey, have I broken him already? But from there, he just kept his head forward, and there he is with team owner James Tana. James obviously stoked on this result. But yeah, Archie's been a star from the get-go in this series. You know, from the first test at Coda, he had pace right out of the gate against all these guys.
Yeah. James is pretty adamant that they have a long-term contract with Archie. They are exploring possibilities of seeing where he can run in the future, maybe in another category if the chance does arise. But yeah, Joe Rascal Racing really do love Archie McDonald. They understand that he is a massive talent, and Yeah, let's see where he could end up in 2027.
There's a few tears down there in Parc Fermé, and that is not a surprise. It's a very emotional win. It's a very emotional day for the whole team. A 1, 2, 3, as we said, it doesn't really get much better than that. The 3 riders that they put out have come home in the first 3 positions here on the final day, the final race of action, on the final day of action here at Silverstone. We are going to hear from all of the podium finishers. We'll start, of course, with Geordie Torres, which is a big celebration in itself because he's on the podium for the first time and he can add his name to a growing list of podium finishers in 2026.
Yeah, and you have to say it was coming. He was knocking on the door yesterday, was Geordie, but made his moves nice and early in that race and had a very strong pace. He was more or less lapping at the same speed as Eric Granado towards the end. Just a little bit too far back to really impact the top 2, but yeah, debut podium for Torres, and every race so far he's been in this championship inside the top 5. Really impressive going.
It is indeed, and I'm glad he's on the podium because it's been a little while since we got to have a look at his wonderful sideburns, but here it is, the Spanish Elvis, P3, a first podium in the Bagger World Cup.
Geordie, congratulations, your first podium in the Harley-Davidson Bagger World Cup. It was only a matter of time, wasn't it? And a great result for the team as well. You must be super proud of that.
Yeah, you can imagine, I ride here in this championship without trying too much time, this kind of bike that is a monster. This bike, also the riding style is very aggressive. I ride here until third is only because my team works like a Swiss machine, you know. I need to say thanks to the Joe Rascal team because it's always a pleasure work with these guys, and I think that have a great future ahead, this team.
Great job, Geordie, and enjoy the podium as well.
Thank you very much.
Great words from Geordie Torres. He's always eloquent, a little bit emotional there as well, Neil.
Yeah, I was speaking to a colleague who happens to live just alongside Geordie Torres in Catalonia, and they said they bumped into him recently on the street. He was outside walking his goat, his pet goat. Which gives you an idea of the kind of character that the number 81 is.
Or was he the goat being walked? Who knows? No, we need more details than this, Neil. If you're going to bring gossip, you've got to come with the absolute facts. Great to see. Geordie Torres is so normal as well. That's why he's very approachable. He's very normal. He's very, very liked in this paddock, and particularly in the Bagger World Cup paddock. Kyle, we're going to get the photo opportunity now. At least all the Joe Rascal Racing team are together in Parc Fermé for this one. Have you seen anything like that over in the States? 1, 2, 3 for the same team?
Yeah, we have. This year it happened not to our favor, but last year we had a great lockout at our home race at Road America. This is great to see. Also great to see, you know, they have this special livery that they debuted in Assen, I believe. It's help us push for better mental health. So, you know, in honor of Archie's brother, helping raise awareness for mental health, and to see all 3 of those bikes in that livery is a pretty special way to honor him.
It really is, and we are going to hear now from one of them. It is the one in P2. It is the championship leader. It is Eric Granado, who is now 5 points clear of Archie McDonald. This thing is going to go down to the wire, I feel. P2 today for Granado.
Eric, second place here at Silverstone on a Sunday afternoon. Not quite the win you were wanting, but a valuable 20 points and a top 3 for the team as well. So how are you feeling after that?
Yes, this weekend I was feeling so good from the beginning. I knew that I could fight for the win. I fight both days, but unfortunately the win didn't come. But you know, I need to think about the championship. It was important points in both races. The fight was amazing. You know, with Archie, I was pushing a lot to catch him. I think I burned a little bit the tire in the middle of the race. In the end, I didn't have too much. I had 2 moments there that I have lost some time. And in the last lap, I had a mistake on turn 6 with the gearing, and I said, okay, second place is a very good result. You know, 1, 2, 3 for the team is amazing. So yes, congratulations to all my team. The job they are doing is amazing. And you know, today is the Father's Day in Brazil, so this P2 is for him. And as I always need to say in português, foi uma baita prova. Eu estive rápido todo final de semana, sabia que podia brigar pela vitória. O P1 não veio, mas 2 pódios são muito importantes. É o 7º pódio seguido da temporada, então o resultado de que a gente está seguindo uma boa linha. Pontos importantes para o campeonato. E, pô, P1, 2 e 3 para a equipe é um ótimo resultado. E hoje é dia dos pais no Brasil, então essa daqui é para meu pai. Esse pódio é para ele. Queria a vitória, mas tá bom, o importante é a gente brigar pelo campeonato. Então é isso, obrigado pela torcida, valeu.
Well done, Eric, enjoy the podium.
Valeu.
Thank you, Eric Granado, P2, and yeah, the championship lead's still his. For how much longer though, Neil? Because Archie McDonald in this kind of form, he's going to be putting some pressure on.
Yeah, well, Eric is doing it through consistency. That is the 7th podium in succession, and he may well have had a clean run of the podiums had he not crashed in the first race that we had this season in Kota. He was up there fighting for victory when he did fall down. So it's been a fabulous recent run. Also a great recent run from this man though, Archie McDonald, 2nd victory this year and right back into championship contention. He's with Hull.
Archie, I know that's a special one. That after everything you've been through this year, you've not won since the opening round and battled some tough moments. So to stand on the top step again here at Silverstone, that must be a pretty special feeling. Talk us through your emotions.
You say I've been through a lot this year. You don't know the half of it. I've seen things no one's meant to see, and I've been places that people aren't supposed to be, and to be on top of the step after everything goes to show that I really want this. I'm here to win, and you see MotoGP riders like Stephen Bradley and Ian Iannone, but I'm nearly half the age of them and twice the man they are, because I've been through so much, and they're ex-GP riders, but I'm a McDonald. You can talk about them all you want, but I'm Archie McDonald, the son of Scott McDonald, son of Miranda Roberts, and sibling to Tabitha McDonald and Toby McDonald, and I hold that name proud and high, and I'll never let go of it. I'm really grateful to everyone that's helped me get here. I can't begin to thank every single person behind the scenes. It's such a relief off my shoulders. I've had moments of just disbelief. I've been through training where I've cried because I just kept crashing, and I looked at my coach and I said to him, what are we going to do? And he said, don't give up. And I never did. And I can't thank Angel Poyados enough for that, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have given up. And he looked at me and he said, do you trust me? And I said, yes, I do. And here we are. It's months later, and I'm on the top step, thanks to him, thanks to my family, thanks to everyone that doesn't give up on me, especially Joe Rascal Racing. You want to see a brand growing worldwide quicker? Look at us, all 3 of us on the top stage, and Joe Rascal's only 1 year old. So there's goes to show. And again, thank you everyone. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Wonderful job, Archie, and enjoy that top step.
Thank you so much.
A very moving and emotional winner's interview for Archie McDonald. He is P1 today, and he's on his way to P1 in the championship standings if he can keep this up until the end of the season. He has been through so much, Neil, not just with the loss of his brother, with the doubts, with the move to Europe to chase this dream of being in a world championship, of being in a World Cup, and that's why results like this matter so much.
Yeah, he's not just an animal on the track, but he is box office off it, and he's a real good character. And I've really admired the way that he's kind of fronted up and spoken about some of the really dark places that he's been to in the last couple of months. He's been willing to speak about it on the record, and yeah, you just have to say full respect to Archie for keeping his head down and yeah, still remaining in the fight for this championship despite everything that he and his family have been through this year. It is, yeah, credit to himself, credit to the McDonald name.
And how impressed are you, Carl? We've seen the results already, so I'll carry on with the conversation. How impressed are you, Carl, with Kyle and with the Joe Rascal Racing team?
I mean, Archie's done an incredible job. Right, when you go through the things he's gone through this season, you know, it's expected to have some struggles, but he's going to be better for them. He's going to come out stronger, and we're seeing the result of that now. He's done an amazing job this weekend to put himself in the position he's in.
And who knows, maybe he will be atop of these championship standings by the end of this season. We have 2 rounds left to go in this first ever season of Bagger World Cup racing. Aragon next, Neil. Austria, a Spielberg thriller perhaps in September.
Yeah, to end the season. Just very briefly, he did mention Angel Poyades. That is his personal trainer that he trains with over in Mallorca. I think that name is also familiar to Moto3 fans. Joel Kelso has worked with him extensively. So, yeah, good to hear Angel Poyades getting a shout out for some of his training methods, which have brought Archie McDonald to this level.
Yeah, he is a great trainer, and that is reflected in the results that not just Joel Kelso and Archie McDonald, but all the other riders as well. We're going to get underway with the podium ceremony here. It is a Spanish podium, a fantastic podium, a first podium for Jordi Torres. Second, as we've said, for championship leader Eric Granado, and Archie McDonald is leading the way today. Let's see if he'll be leading the way at the end of the season. Before we do get underway with the podium, I'll come to you, Kyle, if I can, for some final thoughts here at Silverstone. What are your big takeaways as we go towards the final 2 rounds of this season?
Well, brilliant race yesterday. Great to see Bradley get a home win, and emotional one today, as you can see on screen, for Archie McDonald, and a tighter championship here than we came in with. So, I mean, what can you say? Bagger World Cup first season is going to be it's going to be a heck of a show these last 2 rounds.
Can't wait to get stuck in. Kyle, thank you very much, because we are going to get on with the national anthems very, very soon, and then we'll be out of here and on our way home. I think our home, Neil, is a bit closer than yours, Kyle. You've got to get all the way back to New York, is it?
Yes, sir.
New York. So hopefully we'll see you again soon. If not Aragon, maybe at the final round for what is going to be a thrilling title decider. Aragonado there taking that 2nd place. We've seen Jordi Torres take that 3rd place trophy, but this is going to be special. Archie McDonald is a race winner again here, this time at Silverstone, and P1 for the 2nd time this season. This one is going to mean a lot. Get ready for what is going to be a very, very emotional Australian national anthem. Don't drop the trophy, Archie.
Of Australia.
Advance Australia fair rings out here at Silverstone. Perhaps Australia will be advancing to something pretty special in this first ever season of the FIM Harley-Davidson Bagger World Cup. Neil, I'll come to you finally. Final thoughts here from round 4.
Yeah, we've got a wonderful championship which should be concluded in the next 2 race weekends that we visit, Aragon and Austria. You do not want to miss it, and I think it's down to around 3 riders. Oscar Gutierrez 19 points back of Eric Granado. Archie McDonald just 5 points behind. I think we've whittled it down from 5 challengers to 3.
I think we have, and we have got plenty more drama to come. Archie McDonald is your race winner then here in race 2 from Silverstone in the Bagger World Cup. That is all. We'll leave you with the highlights, of which there are many, from myself, Kiko Charles, Neil Morrison, and our expert wildcard guest Carl Wyman. We'll be back with you at the end of August for Aragon, and then it is on to Austria and our final round. See you then. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of the time off between now and Aragon. Goodbye.